Welcome to Joker. This first picture is of a set that my wife had bought from a friend. They're made of pine and they work okay, but I thought I could do better. The layout is the same. It's 18 holes along the bottom. There's 5 base spots, 5 home spots. There's a start point below base, and what I'm calling the front door below the home. I called them that because I made a set of instructions for playing, and it's easy to follow that way. When I built this deck, it left quite a few offcuts. It's a Merbau, a nice hardwood, and works really well for making these projects. The first step was to plane off the beading on the bottom side of these planks. The decking started out at 140 millimeters wide. I just had to slice it down the middle, and that left game boards that would be a little under 70 millimeters wide. I thought that was pretty good for these 6 boards I'm making. With the length of the offcuts that I had, I settled on 360 millimeters for a good length that would make the best use of the offcuts, and then adjusted the distance between holes to suit. After considering several different layouts, I thought this one looked pretty nice and settled on that to make the template. The router guide is something I'd made for another project, and it works really well here too. I just used a standard bit, and I set it to be about 3 millimeters deep. I had to watch the depth setting on the router because it slipped. For some reason, no matter how tight I made it, it slipped, and the divots were getting progressively deeper, so I had to keep an eye on it. This was the first piece that I'd routed out, and I saw here that I had to be very careful with the template because the base spots in this were very close together, and I had to make sure that the router guide was in exactly the right spot. This one wandered off, and that meant that this first piece was a waste, and I ended up making a new piece later. After routing out all the pieces, I painted the spots and then painted the rivets that I'm using for the playing pieces. This is the second coat. Using this magnet worked well to hold the playing pieces while the paint dried. Once the paint had dried, I just selected the right size drill bit so that the playing pieces weren't too loose and they weren't too tight. And then the drill press was necessary because there's 168 holes and I wanted them all the same depth. With so many holes to drill, it was a good idea for a trial fit at this point for only 2 holes. Make sure the playing pieces weren't too tight and weren't too sloppy. I didn't take any video of it, but the finish coats, there were 2 coats of a wipe-on polyurethane. It worked out really well to bring out the grain of this Merbau. Without something to hold these boards together, they can slide all around and the game can be kind of annoying, so I just use little bits of Velcro in the corners. We had just enough material left over from making a cover for one of the aggro boards that was another project, and that worked really well to make this cover here. There are 7 pockets. There are 6 for the boards, and then the middle pocket for the cards and the playing pieces. 7 pockets allowed it to be folded up like an accordion, and then a bit of elastic held it all in place.